This is Adventurer for Life, and I'm Joel. This is day 7, section 7 of the Northeast BDR. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na. We're leaving the Town and Country Hotel in Gorham, New Hampshire. It was okay. Probably a pretty nice hotel back in the day. 172 miles today. Going to end up in Rangeley, Maine. Now Rangeley, Maine's only about, I think 60 or 70 miles from here, so we're going to be going out in the woods and going in some, loops, circles, whatever you want to call it. It did rain a little overnight. There's rain in the forecast all day today. It is 61 degrees, although it's a colder 61 degrees because it's damp and all that stuff. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. Rain in the forecast all day. So, this could be one of those days that is absolutely no fun. We've already decided that if it becomes absolutely no fun, i.e. Everything's so wet, muddy, soppy mess, that we'll punt and just head to Rangeley. Hopefully that won't be the case. Anyway, nothing of note on the schedule today, so as we ride out, I may just blab on and on and on and on, because there may not be a whole lot of new, unique, different things to show you today, which of course that part of the trip. Here's what we got. So anyway, not expecting anything other than some hard packed gravel roads that may have gotten a little muddy or whatnot. It's kind of neat seeing the clouds up there in the mountaintops and whatnot. Yesterday, obviously, again, Mount Washington was great. The ride up and the ride down. By the way, when I was coming down, I think I mentioned it on the video at the end of the video yesterday. Some guy, I think he was, it doesn't matter where he's from, I went around him. There was no solid line, there was no nothing. I went around him because they were going slower than Christmas, and he lays on the horn and honks, 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 honks. Well, the other guys were behind me, and when we get to the bottom, they are, we'll just say, speaking negatively about that guy, because when they got down there, there's a little lake to look at. When they got down there and caught up to him, the guy literally pulled over into the other lane and was blocking them from passing, and they had to get on each side of him and basically outflank him. So this guy felt it so important, and his manhood had been insulted so much by a motorcycle passing him, that he decides nobody else should be allowed to pass him and everybody should follow him down the mountain. Anyway, this world is a study in human nature and people, and that guy, I'd hate to be his significant other. I'm guessing he didn't have a very pleasant evening after, as mad as he got at us. So anyway, enough of that story. We'll see you out there on the trail. So we hadn't gone too far, but I don't know how much of today is going to be on pavement, but this on pavement section is, it's pretty. It's even greener now because of the overcast skies or whatever. And so anyway, I thought I'd give you a quick look at what we're seeing, and it's residential, some kind of house back there or whatever. Residential area, but still, it's pretty enough to film. So this may be a lot of pavement today. I obviously don't know yet, but well, we just went down probably a 5-mile lane with canopy the entire way, and of course, again, as soon as I start recording, it goes away. Here it comes back, so maybe we'll have a little bit more of it. But yeah, this is what we were coming out of when I hit the button, the record button, a second ago. So anyway, but this will be, you know, relaxing and pleasant. This is Labor Day, by the way, and so you know, could be a lot of traffic. Now, we saw at the hotel last night there were tons of people with side-by-sides, because there's quite a few side-by-side trails around here, both in New Hampshire and Maine. And so obviously we don't want to meet them out there on the trail. They're not going to be on this road. So anyhow, we'll take what we get and enjoy it for what it is. So we're at this little narrow bridge, got the river underneath. That's nice. Got a little, I don't know what that is over there. Oh, it's snowmobile. That was a snowmobile path right there. Maybe ATV also, obviously, but anyway, it was interesting. I don't know if you can see, but again, the water's down. There's a little bit of water in there, but the boulders in that stream are, I mean, we had another view of it a little bit further back, and they're big. I was impressed. Now, Jim, again, being from here, he said, and this is obvious, but White Mountain National Forest, how about that? Anyway, he said, you know, of course, these streams are, he used the word raging in the spring. Rain, I don't know that there's any, well, there's probably snow melt. There's got to be snow melt. Anyway, but it was interesting to see a mostly dry riverbed with these with the huge rocks underneath. I bet there's some pretty fun rafting in there. Hey, don't shoot off any fireworks if you come to this national forest, by the way. That's what that sign said. So it started drizzling a little bit. We're still in the White Mountain National Forest. It's 8:45 and 59 degrees. Really, really pretty drive through here. We're 15 miles into the ride today. Again, 172, I think, for the day. If you're ever up this way, again, the climb of Mount Washington is certainly worth it, and this is a beautiful drive. Okay, we're at Evans Notch. Near this point, the watersheds of the Androscoggin and Saco rivers divide. Water flowing south enters the Saco River, and that flowing north enters the Androscoggin River. Right now, oh, that's nice back there. Got that big mountain. I couldn't see it because of all the trees. Again, that's one of the real negatives of the Northeast from my perspective is that, I mean, there's lots of green beauty and all that, but you can't see much because of the trees and whatnot. But you can see the top of the mountain, the clouds and whatnot. And then I guess this is the notch, but you can't see it because of the clouds, which is, again, pretty cool. Okay, I hate to call Jim a sissy, but he's got this little umbrella he likes to carry, both for sun protection if it's hot and you've got a flat tire or something like that. And he used it in Washington, and then he's got it for this. Obviously, he got it out just as a joke, but anyway, pretty funny. As he stands in the mud puddle. We've hit the first unpaved section of today. Little wooden bridge, little stream, little, you know, it's hard packed, but you know, the water was going across the road back there. I mean, this is slippery. It's slick, you know, even on this hard packed road. So we'll see what that's all about. I see a little bit of slipping and sliding in front of me, so we're gonna have to be tad careful. Let's see what climbing this is. It's not going to be bad, but boy, I am certainly glad that when we did those Class 4 roads and slightly harder sections that it was not raining, because that would have been no fun. By the way, I've fallen one time on this trip. I mean, I've dropped my bike a couple times, but I was going 0 miles an hour when I did. But I've fallen one time, and it was that within the first 30 minutes of the trip, which is pretty funny. We'll see what the rain does to us. Again, pretty day. I assume we're getting a clear picture on the video, even though it's raining. I was thinking if we're going to have this day, and when I say this day, I mean rainy, drizzly, a little cold, this is probably the day to have it. We're still going to see some beautiful stuff. I think the roads are going to be, or at least from what I know, the roads are going to be pretty easy. I was told that the main section used to be a lot tougher, but some forestry company bought the land that the prior trails were on and didn't want bikers on it, so the trail had to change. Anyway, if we're gonna have less than perfect weather, then this was probably the day to have it on. So we'll just be thankful for what we got. So a couple of guys have decided that they don't want to ride in the rain, and so they're headed to the hotel. We're going to ride, I think it's like 10 miles or so to some restaurant, whatever, and maybe stop and get something to drink or eat, which I don't really care about, but it doesn't matter. I'm willing to continue to ride. I mean, I'm wet. Honestly, I'm not wet. My suit is wet, and it's pretty out here, even though it's raining. And to me, this is part of the experience, even though if it's not as pleasant as we would otherwise prefer. So we're going to ride a little farther, stop at this restaurant, reevaluate, and we'll take it from there. I think it's I think they said it was 88 miles to the hotel, and so we'll just see how it goes. Last year when we did the Mid-Atlantic BDR, we ended up cutting it off the last day and a half or so because a hurricane came all the way up to the New York, Pennsylvania area and was just drenching it. So I ended up, so we called it off, and I ended up riding down the Blue Ridge Parkway on the day that we canceled, and it rained hard the entire day. I rode for 10-12 hours in the rain, hard rain, and I felt comfortable with it because I was on the Blue Ridge and there weren't many other people stupid enough to be out there like I was. And honestly, it was pretty cool. You saw some things that you wouldn't have seen otherwise. The clouds down low. You didn't get much scenic beauty, obviously, but it was a different kind of scenic beauty. Anyway, that's what I'm kind of looking for today. Again, even though we'd rather have sunshine and perfect temperatures, you got to take the quote-unquote bad with the good, and that's what we're going to do. Not long after that last video clip, we got back off pavement. You can see, maybe you can see, well, this is paved here. Well, it's just because this bridge is here. A little bit of water running now. Anyway, you can see the little bit of rain we've had, kind of following the established ruts, or I hate to call them ruts, the rivulets in the road. So definitely there's some of these sections of pavement out here that have got, where they laid a pipe or some wire or something, and they cut a little 2-foot wide swath across the road, and then they don't bother to repave it, they just leave it dirt. And we went across one of those, so I was kind of leaned over turning, and both my tires slid. I mean, I didn't go down, but I'm just saying that this is a lot slicker because of the rain, obviously. So anyway, just go a little slower, be a little bit more careful. So the road, the dirt road, had just widened out when I turned on the camera, and then it turned into pavement. Still, you're tired of hearing me tell you how pretty it is, but it really is. Again, this would be awesome about a month, 6 weeks from now, when the leaves start turning. I've only been in the Northeast one time when the leaves were turning, and it was pretty spectacular. We've gotten back off the pavement. We probably were on pavement for 5 miles or so back there. Pretty similar to what we've been seeing. Unfortunately, we're going to be behind this truck. When it's dry, I think we would blow by him, but just like this, probably won't. Looks like he's going to let us go by, which is awful nice of him. The trees seem to be cut back a little bit further through here, a little bit more open. Instead of a tree canopy, we got a cloud canopy. Again, it's supposed to rain, I think, till 5 or 6 o'clock tonight, so I think I'm gonna vote for an early departure. Head to the hotel. I mean, I certainly want to experience this kind of thing, but once you're experiencing it, you just soon not. So we just came down a fairly steep descent down to this, if you can see through there, this lake that we're riding beside. I tried to get the descent, but the stupid GoPro was locked up again, and I had to reset it. You would think, I mean, this is a great camera. It's a Hero 10, I think is what it's called. It's the latest and greatest. I mean, as long as GoPro's been at this stuff, you'd think they'd have their stuff together, but this camera locks up, and sometimes it'll go a whole day without locking up. Sometimes it'll lock up 3 or 4 times. And I just have to hold the power button in for 10-15 seconds, and it'll come on, and then I turn it off, and then from that point it'll work. But it just is, it's just a hassle to do. Anyway, we're obviously turning around, and unfortunately this poor guy got stuck behind John while he's trying to turn around, but that's life. And we will move on. Oh, that's a sheriff. Not a bad guy to have out here. Okay, we stopped it in Stoneham, maybe Maine, at AJ's Everything. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. From the looks of things, Friday and Saturday night get a little exciting around there, but just the convenience store portion was open. But she opened up the restaurant for us in the back, and we had a little, we'll call it brunch. Sat there for hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, and ate and talked and rested and got out of the rain. And now we're going to ride for an hour and a half in the rain to Rangeley, Maine. It's 56 degrees. We're going 65 miles an hour. It's raining. It's cold. Fortunately, the windshield obviously knocks a lot of the coolness off. I've got all my vents closed on my jacket and my pants, so that's better. And this bike's got heated grips and a heated seat, so I got all that stuff on, so it won't be too bad. I probably won't be recording anymore until we get to Rangeley. Well, we're in Rumford Falls, and there are Rumford Falls, although it looked like it was man-made Rumford Falls. I don't know if you saw much there, but anyway, a minor point of interest. Here we just came up beside this pretty little lake here. I wish I'd have caught it a little bit earlier, but as you can see all the way down the lake, and there was just one house on it. But anyway, stretching for things to show you today. So okay, I'm in the front. This is a quick change, and I'm in the front reception area of the Rangeley Inn in Rangeley, Maine, and they have sleighs and moose heads and bear stuffings and grand pianos, apparently. Anyway, this is where we'll be staying tonight. Welcome to the Rangeley Inn. Apparently this hotel's been here for a long time. I think it's on that sign down there in a second. So Rangeley is obviously in Maine. Right down this way, we crossed over a lake because of all the dreariness and the coldness and the rain. Nobody was out there, obviously, but it looked pretty. There were lots of houses and boats around it. But anyway, this is where we're staying tonight. This is Adventure for Life. I'm Joel. This is the end of day 7 of the Northeast BDR, and we did section 7 today. There you go, the Rangeley Tavern since 1897. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow.